Also making news this Sunday, the addition of a new multi-million-dollar power plant for Bahamas Power and Light with new equipment and promising more reliability of service has been a welcomed idea. But it did not come without controversy over whether the company's Bahamian staff would be left in the cold. B.P.L's chief shed some light on the situation with our Cleopatra Murphy.
CEO of Bahamas Power and Light Whitney Hastie says Bahamians will operate Bahamas Power and Light's new Station A power plant at Clifton Pier. This is despite Finnish technology company Wärtsilä being approved to bring 120 foreign workers to install new tri-fuel high-efficiency engines at B.P.L's new $95 million power station. Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Paul Maynard previously expressed fears that Bahamian staff would be treated like second-class citizens after Hastie said B.P.L had no staff that understood the new engines, and the company would rely on Wärtsilä for the installation. In a recent interview with our news team, Hastie maintains that even with the new equipment, there is a place for Bahamians.
We're working now with Wärtsilä to make sure that by the end of the fourth quarter of this year, when we have the plant up and running, that we'll be full and ready to go with a full complement of staff to run that facility.
The 7 Wärtsilä engines arrived in the country in May, and Hastie says work on Station A is well underway.
Having the engines already in the engine hall, the infrastructure and the metal lattices that ties the engines together are already being put in place, and so the actual core of the construction is really full-fledged now, and we really see it being a successful ending for everybody at the end of the day.
After a summer plagued with load shedding, the new power station is expected to provide a more stable power supply for the island. Questioned as to how he would rate the power company's performance this summer, Hastie acknowledged he is not happy with it, but B.P.L is working toward improvement.
We look to be a service provider that provides not only the demand when the demand is needed, but obviously to have that demand be reliable and at the best price point. Okay, so as an overall as a CEO of this company, I would say that the employees of the corporation is working diligent and hard every day to make sure that they can meet that, not only the supply, but make sure the supply is reliable, and then obviously work on bringing the costs where the Bahamian people and the residents of the Bahamas can realize not only good service but at the best price.
The B.P.L CEO says that is coming, as the electricity provider is on target for a fall completion of Station A.
When you're putting in, infrastructure in an existing, or new infrastructure in an existing facility, there are always going to be things that you run into that you would not have anticipated. No different than somebody was remodeling an existing home as opposed to building a brand new home. Right? There'd be things that you'd fall into that you would not have realized before. But even with that, we are still confident that we'll still be within the fourth quarter of this year and have that plant putting power out to the grid before the end of the year.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.